Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the newest installment in the Toy Story franchise, Toy Story 4. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and put out videos daily. You can also find me over Twitter and Instagram at Movie Guy 365. Okay, Toy Story 4, it's finally in theaters. I'm a big fan of the franchise. It's been, ever since the beginning, I was there. I saw the first one in the theaters, and I've been hooked on Pixar films ever since. I've always thought that the Toy Story films were some of the best that they put out, and just overall good stories. And they're not even kids movies. These are, as Pixar has said numerous times, they make movies that are not kids movies, that are just good, CGI type films. So, as my thoughts have been known, through, if you're a subscriber to the channel and you've checked out my previous videos on the topic, I always felt that Toy Story had a nice beginning, middle, end, and Toy Story 3 was a nice way to cap it off. So I was not overly enthusiastic to learn they were going to make a part 4. Of course I'm going to go see it. I mean, that would just be crazy not to. But I feel that was a good, trilogy. I don't think a fourth one would be necessarily needed. But, as it is, the movie came out and I just came back from seeing it. So here are my thoughts. I just want to say that there are going to be some mild spoilers. I'm not going to go deep into heaviness, but I want to touch upon a few things I really enjoyed and really didn't like, and unfortunately those involve mild spoilers. So just be warned going forward into that. So yeah, overall, I did enjoy the film, but I'm still holding on to my thought that it kind of should have just stopped with 3, or you could have continued on, but make it all different toys. And one of the things that one of my nitpicks, and I'll get into that in more detail in a few moments, is they kind of play with that a little bit. The story mostly focuses on Woody and Bo Peep and, their relationship and also how they fit in the world, since Andy and her owner, Molly, have just kind of, left their lives. So, while, I would say the dynamic between them is much like what we got with Woody and Buzz in the first movie. It was definitely a Woody and Buzz movie in that first one. One could argue, going forward, it kind of became more of an ensemble and a little bit leaning one way or the other. But this one is definitely a Woody and Bo Peep. But, I feel overall it does work, but I really think that you kind of probably started a new series. And I even I was thinking about this on the way home. Maybe do a thing where you have similar toys facing a situation where Andy is gone, and they're going on this adventure, this kind of thing. I think that would have probably worked a little bit better for me, because we still kind of get that at the end a little bit. The toys have almost gone their separate ways, and it's a weird place that they all ended up at, but it makes for potentially, more films going forward. So I think overall, I really, I'm kind of middle of the ground on this one. I would probably say story-wise, Toy Story 3, 1, 2, and then this one. I think it's not that it's bad or anything like that, but let me just talk about some of the things I liked and some of the things I didn't like. Some of the things I liked and I loved was the breathtaking animation. We got hints of this in Cars 3, the nice photorealism that seems to be happening now. Just looks stunning. Honestly, when I get this on 4K, this is going to be an absolute feast for my eyes, and I cannot wait to dissect every frame in this film. It looks beautiful. It's just gorgeous. I mean, there's the scenes near the beginning with the rain, when they go to the carnival later, just the bright lights, and just everything looks so real. There's a cat involved. Just stunning animation, Key and Peele, who played Ducky and Bunny. Best parts of the movie, best characters of the movie. I think they have the greatest chemistry. We all know that. If you're fans of Key and Peele, you know that what they can bring. And this did not disappoint in any way, shape. I think if I had one minor complaint, is it took them a long time to get to Key and Peele. But when we get there, it's so much, it's worth it. It really is. The duration of the film is great. Anytime they're on screen, you expect something awesome. The voice cast, as always in these films, is just stellar. Everybody did a wonderful job. everybody from, you know, Woody, Bo Peep, you know, but okay, I will say that something seemed a little off about Tim Allen's voicing Buzz. It's just he didn't sound Buzz. He sounded more like older Tim Allen, and that you never really noticed that with Woody, but for some reason he sounded older. Like, you know, it didn't sound quite like the youthful Buzz Lightyear we got in the first 3 films. But everybody else did a fine job. But unfortunately, they were rather limited what they could do with Don Rickles' role, you know, Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head. I don't even think I heard her say one word. And, you know, they definitely reused footage for Don Rickles in this. But, you know, Keanu Reeves and Carl Weathers is in that. Let me just say, Carl Weathers, one of the things I like, has a great scene. It's kind of near the beginning-ish. I loved it. In fact, that got such a kind of a aw reaction from my audience. It was funny. Annie Potts as Bo Peep was great. She definitely held her own, and more so than any other Toy Story film. She was bouncing off Tom Hanks really well. Great job as Bo Peep in this one. Maybe kind of 1 or 2 cringeworthy moments in towards the end, but overall she did a fantastic job. Now let me talk about some of the things I didn't enjoy particularly. As I mentioned, because of the voice casting, you know, of some of our dearly departed voice actors, that old dynamic, the gang, were not really there. They were really background fodder at this point. They really didn't have much to do through 3/4 of the movie, and towards the climax they had a lot more to do, but you could noticeably tell they gave, you know, the toys to the more, you know, the toys themselves are kind of just still background, like they're not really prominent, but the climax, it does get a little bit better in that regard. I'm not going to say what the ending necessarily was. I did mention that they kind of go their separate ways. But I feel that it does cheapen the ending of 3. I liked, you know, how that story, and that was Andy's, you know, duration through 1 through 3. But that handoff kind of gets tossed out the window. And I didn't particularly care for that too much. They did the Lost Toy story again. We've seen it before. Kind of over it at this point. I think they can kind of move on to something else in the near future if they continue on these movies. Like, I felt 3 had a definitive ending. This one does not have a definitive ending. It could definitely go on. The parents of Bonnie. Something just didn't care for them. Didn't care for them at all. Even Bonnie was pretty much, where's the main character or the MacGuffin of the film is this new toy that Bonnie creates called Forky. And Forky was kind of like her thing. Like, so, and we understand that's part of the story. But when you get past that point where the introduction, any scene with Bonnie is, where's Forky? Where's Forky? Where's Forky? Where's Forky? Every time. And that got a little bit old. And quite frankly, like, I would say, including the parent dynamic and how they were kind of treating the toys, I don't want those toys around those parents. You know, honestly, it felt just kind of, you know, they didn't appreciate what everybody brought. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to give the movie, still, despite my complaints, I still enjoyed it very much. I'm going to give it a solid 8. I think it's worth it. I will absolutely own this when it hits the 4K. It was good. I just think that they could have taken most of this plot and started with brand new toys. And I would have given this probably a 10. You know, kept everybody else except the originals out, you know, brought in a new Woody, and, you know, I think it could have turned out better, in my opinion. So let me know in the comments below if you had a chance to see Toy Story 4. Let me know what you thought. And in the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guide 365. I will see you at the movies.